Have you ever had that feeling deep in your gut that something is terribly wrong? That feeling you try to ignore, telling yourself you're just being paranoid? Sarah wished she had listened to that feeling. It was late, well past midnight, and the empty highway stretched out before her like a black ribbon. The only light for miles was the lonely glow of her car's dashboard, and one particularly annoying little icon that had just started blinking, the fuel light. She sighed, of all the times to run low on gas. Just as a wave of anxiety washed over her, she saw it in the distance, a beacon in the oppressive darkness, a gas station. It was one of those 24-hour places, the kind that feels a little too bright, a little too exposed against the vast dark countryside. As she pulled in, she noticed how eerily quiet it was. No other cars, no rumble of trucks, just the hum of the fluorescent lights overhead and the soft crunch of gravel under her tires. She parked next to a pump, grabbed her wallet, and stepped out of the car. The sudden chill in the air made her shiver, and she pulled her jacket tighter around her. She walked towards the small convenience store to pay. Through the large glass window, she could see the clerk, a young man with tired eyes, slumped over the counter, half asleep. As she pushed the door open, a little bell jingled, and the clerk's head snapped up. The moment he saw her, his entire demeanor changed. All traces of sleepiness vanished. His eyes went wide, and the color drained from his face, leaving him a sickly pale. He froze, staring at something just over her shoulder, out in the darkness of the parking lot. He leaned forward across the counter, his voice a low, urgent whisper that cut through the silence. "Get back in your car. Drive away. Right now." Sarah laughed, a nervous, uncertain sound. "What? Is something wrong with the pumps?" She glanced back at her car, expecting to see a fuel spill or some mechanical issue. The clerk shook his head violently, his eyes still locked on that spot behind her. No, just don't turn around. Whatever you do, don't look back. Just get in your car and leave, now." His voice was trembling, filled with a primal fear she had never heard before. Her heart started pounding in her chest. The friendly glow of the gas station now felt like a spotlight, pinning her in place. Every instinct screamed at her to obey, to run back to the safety of her car and speed away. But a stubborn, dangerous curiosity took hold. What could possibly be so terrifying? What was he seeing that she couldn't? Against her better judgment, against the clerk's desperate plea, she began to turn, slowly. The air grew thick and heavy, and a strange, sweet smell, like rotting flowers, filled her nostrils. The hum of the lights seemed to fade into a low drone. The clerk let out a choked sob. "I told you not to look." As her head turned, her eyes adjusted to the darkness beyond the bright circle of light. At first, she saw nothing. Just the empty pumps, her car, and the dark woods that lined the edge of the property. Then she saw it. Standing right beside the rear passenger door of her car, so still it could have been a statue, was a figure. It was tall and unnaturally thin, its limbs long and jointed at odd angles, like a broken doll. It wore what looked like a tattered, old-fashioned suit, but it was the face or lack thereof that made her blood run cold. Where a face should have been was a smooth, pale, featureless expanse of skin. No eyes, no nose, no mouth. Just a blank canvas of pure horror. Sarah forgot how to breathe. A scream was trapped in her throat, a silent, agonizing shriek. The figure didn't move. It just stood there, its blank face aimed directly at her, as if it could see her, as if it had been waiting for her to see it. She finally understood the clerk's terror. This wasn't a prank. This was a nightmare made real. Her mind raced, trying to process the impossible sight. The figure slowly, deliberately, raised one of its long, spindly arms and crooked a single, elongated finger, beckoning her closer. A primal survival instinct finally kicked in, shattering her paralysis. She stumbled backward, tripping over her own feet and crashing against a display of potato chips. She scrambled back up, her eyes never leaving the horrifying figure. It hadn't moved from its spot, but she felt its non-existent gaze burning into her. "What is that thing?" she gasped, her voice barely a whisper. The clerk was now hiding behind the counter, his hands over his head. "I don't know," he whimpered. "It shows up sometimes. It just waits, people see it, and they don't leave, don't go near your car. It wants you to." Sarah's car. Her keys were still in the ignition. Her only escape was just a few yards away, but it was guarded by that thing. She felt trapped, a fly caught in a spider's web. The bright, lonely gas station had become her prison. "What does it do?" she asked, her voice shaking. I don't know, the clerk cried out. The ones who see it, they either get in their car and drive right towards it or they walk towards it like they're in a trance. Then they're just gone. The car is gone, they're gone. It's like they were never here. Panic gave way to a cold, stark realization. She had two choices. Stay here, trapped with a terrified clerk waiting for who knows what, or make a run for it. A run for her car, a run past the silent, waiting horror. She looked from the figure to her car, calculating the distance. It was close, so dangerously close. Could she make it? Could she get in, start the car, and drive away before it reached her? The thought of its long, thin fingers touching her, of that blank face looming over her, was more terrifying than death itself. Taking a deep, shaky breath, she decided. She couldn't stay here, she had to try. Cover your eyes, she told the clerk, her voice surprisingly steady. I'm going for it. She didn't wait for a reply. She bolted. Her feet pounded against the concrete, the sound unnaturally loud in the dead silence. She didn't dare look at the figure, focusing only on her car door. Her hand reached the handle, fumbled for a second, then pulled it open. She threw herself inside, slamming the door shut and locking it in one fluid motion. Her hands trembled as she jammed the key into the ignition and twisted. The engine roared to life, a beautiful, beautiful sound. She slammed the car into reverse, tires screeching as she peeled out of the parking spot, not caring where she was going, only that it was away. Just as she was about to shift into drive and speed onto the highway, she risked one last glance in her rearview mirror. Her heart stopped. The figure was no longer by the pump, it was in her back seat. Its smooth, featureless face was just inches from hers in the reflection. A long, pale hand rested gently on her shoulder. The car stalled and the gas station lights flickered and went out, plunging everything into absolute darkness. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more chilling tales. See you next time.